what might be three kings that rule each particular individual. You might find in the argument of placing the three minds that an individual might be able to identify from the body's processes, one might find how to identify the three minds, also known as the three resonant centers within your body. One could imagine if the exchange of resonance in the body results in the production of sound, let's look at the perspective of the three minds. You might find you create sound from your stomach area, your first mind, when you are hungry or are simply seeking to feed yourself the nutrients that which from said initial mind telling you, I need these minerals, I need these nutrients, I need these things to sustain myself. You then arise to the second mind, the vocal resonance, the external vocal resonance, known as, once again, you could argue that in the production of sound is the expression of the body telling itself, you need this, you need that. And understanding the foremost fundamental function of the first mind, known as the brain, you might notice that it specifically only speaks upon needing something. It has an intention behind arising a resonance to create sound from. And so when your stomach speaks, you might say, figuratively saying, when your stomach speaks by emitting sound, that which can be heard externally, the mind, the first mind is saying, I need this in order to survive. At the second mind, the vocal resonance, you might find once again that if the first fundamental function of the first mind is to only speak according to what it needs, what might be a constant once again, that according to speaking, according to only what you need, you might find a different invocation in your language. And then you arise to the third mind, the internal world, the internal mind, which from internal mind, one might imagine that the process ultimately leads to the rising of the serpent, known as the Kundalini. In the Kundalini, one might find that from the first mind, also known as the first serpent, from the first serpent, you may experience a rise to pull said ingredients that will ultimately lead to each of the particular minds feeding off of a said system. And according to how it feeds off of the first and foremost mind, you could argue that your nutrient diet ultimately feeds what is your mind. From the three minds, each and every individual is ruled. From your stomach speaking, your vocal speaking, and your mental speaking. In these particular minds, one might find that each serves a purpose to one the same. A pyramidal structure, if you wish, which each of these pyramidal points results in a chakral alignment. From said chakral alignment, you might find that the mind has a process that aligns to this particular central hub, known as the chakral line. At the chakral line, you might find a rise and pull of energy, where you might imagine a breath-like process, intaking internally and uptaking. And from this uptaking and intaking, you see that once again, this is how mental health is generated, known as your mind. From the first mind, the second, and the third, you may find once again a particular function to your nutrition. It has a function in sustaining your energetic body, which without said nutrition, your energetic body technically cannot sustain itself within the physical body. And from whatever you may eat or ingest, you may experience your spiritual body. In the three minds, one might understand a constant rule of threes within the universe. 3 dimensions, 3 minds, 3 experiences. And from this particular point, you might argue there are more divisions of the body. But ultimately, each division of the body makes up one particular body. Whether from lymphatic to nervous to your cardiovascular system to your skeletal system, and you might enter different processes once you enter the body. 5 senses, 5 particular systems. Within said body, you might make a connection to different particular functions of each of these systems, but ultimately the processing of these systems is at the first central hub, the energetic body, the chakral body, which through the 3 particular minds, one might find that in their mental health development, according to the nutrition that which you feed the first mind, the stomach, you might find said energy arise to a different mind through a breath work, an intaking and uptaking. And through this ingestion of nutrients, which is done through eating, you might find once again a different sense, taste. I would invite you in your own research to find how each sense essentially correlates to different emotions, as an example, such as listening to sound. Each particular sense might have a particular function in the world. You could argue that according to the sense, you relay the particular necessary information for the brain, the final mind, to essentially create its perception of the universe. But we don't just perceive the universe, we also project the universe. Because if we did not, then the visible world we were seeing would not be visible. If you only intook the information, how would you know it was actually there if you were not projecting it? The eyes themselves are not just a camera-like mechanism, but a capturer, observer, and projector. At that particular point, you might have a bit of a fundamental breakdown. It might make you feel like you're actively in control of your life all of a sudden, which, yes, as an individual, you very much are in control of your life. So start living it. Take on life's adventures. Don't waste your time wasting your life away within even a separate experience. A screen of sorts that which captures your life away from being able to live said life while living it away. Within the 3 minds, one might understand the fundamental constants, which is the mind in all of its 3 kingdoms only speaks when it needs something. Thank you.